Vikings, of course, lose Sam Darnold, but now are going on with their second-year quarterback, JJ McCarthy, which is really the big question mark. I think we're going to take a couple of answers there with JJ McCarthy for some of these superlatives. But Vikings offense, Matt, what are you focusing on with them this year?
Yeah, just I don't know. Maybe I won't talk about the obvious here, because like what's going to make or break the season is definitely JJ McCarthy and all that. So really what I'm focusing on is this interior offensive line investment, bringing in Jordan Mason to complement Aaron Jones.
Yep.
I think that can be a really fun and complementary duo. And honestly, that really to me is a big part of this. I know obviously the blood in the water, the layup topic is the quarterback, but that investment I think signals where they want to go from a philosophical standpoint.
No, it's such a great point because I think you have to focus on it. I'll just kind of say because just to reiterate this is that last year I think we, including myself, until we talked about top 10 offenses, assumed this offense was like top 8 and everything, and it was like they're like 14th and 13th and 16th, and it was like and I was like, it's because you guys dropped off in the second half of the year. It's like, oh no, even the first half of the year, you guys are kind of 12th, 14th, 8th. But they have really tried to improve this run game over the years. Dalvin Cook was fading in 2022 in KOC's first year. I looked at the offensive stuff rate. So I think this is the final thing that they're trying to add. I've talked about this with the coverages they get with Justin Jefferson. They get a lot of soft boxes. They've been trying to figure out ways to punish it. First, it was adding Addison and Hawkinson, and now it's improved the run game. Jordan Mason, like you said, is the bruiser to Aaron Jones. But offensive stuff rate, which is 0 gains of 0 yards or a TFL, tackle for loss, the Vikings ranked 32nd. So they had the most in 2022. In 2023, KOC's second year, 24th. Then last year, 20th. They need this to uptick. They need this to get up. And they need to be in like 10th in this rate, 8th in this rate, because they got to help out their new quarterback. This is the best way. You don't want to put them in a bunch of third and longs. Charles brought this up talking about the Bears and what they were facing on third down last year. The Vikings last year, or since KOC got there, they've averaged 7.2 yards to go on third down. Typically under 7 is top 10. So that number has got to get to top 10. And I think that will really just help this entire offense. So yeah, the run game, the offensive line, Jordan Mason, obviously, and of course, McCarthy is the real answer there. But Charles, what about you? Or did I just steal all the thunder?
I mean, if we're not going to say JJ McCarthy needs to play well because this team is really built out and they can potentially win a Super Bowl if he's good enough. I find the offensive line trio interesting. It's because I think you have to like all 3 additions that they made last year, especially just when you're looking at what's going to stabilize them. Ryan Kelly is a big upgrade at center. Will Fries, great, or is it Will Freeze or Will Fries?
Will Freeze, right?
Phil Freeze.
Oh, now you're messing me up. No, you're almost there.
No,
I was so pronunciations. Don't mess me up now.
Will F, the second former Indianapolis Colt on this offensive line. And then, Big Will, and then Donovan Jackson. Like those 3 guys are quality players, but I just want to see how fast they can mesh together and get moving. I think it obviously really helps having Ryan Kelly at center because he's played so much football. And he can hopefully get those guys together pretty quickly. And I think even having Ryan Kelly is big for JJ McCarthy. Just having that veteran set presence. And if you're a guy who's starting like his first games with all these expectations, it probably is helpful to have someone who just direct traffic for you. Been there, done that. Whole lot of quarterbacks, whole lot of different offenses. I think Ryan Kelly provides that. So if those 3 guys are good, you at least have a fighting chance for JJ McCarthy to be the guy he needs to be because Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, like your pass game is going to be fine as long as you can keep your quarterback up and move the ball on the ground.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the haymakers this offense could throw. It's the jabs.
Right.
It's like, can you stay on schedule? Can you be efficient? That's really what. And last thing on it is Donovan Jackson. The one little thing I do like, and because Christian Darrisaw, the left tackle, who's good, very good, faced a lot of injuries throughout his career. Just in a pinch, we don't have to trade for Cam Robinson. We can kick maybe Donovan Jackson. Is it ideal? No. But it's in case of emergency card you can play and maybe kick out Donovan Jackson out there. I had to mention that because I'm really high on Jackson overall. So I love that addition. Just got to reiterate it. All right. Defense. We all had them as a top 6 defense. Not even top 10. Top 6. Matt, why was that? And what are you focusing on? The Vikings defense.
Yeah, I would say the thing I'm focusing on is probably the only thing that would maybe hold you back is this is another like outside cornerback optional team, right? They signed Isaiah Rodgers, who's like kind of a nice role player. They're hyping up Jeff Okudah. It feels like Jeff Okudah is like the Devontae Parker of cornerbacks. God. Like every year is his year I guess fifth team or whatever. So, again, like that's probably the one area. It's not quite as bad as Green Bay on paper because like they have Byron Murphy, and Byron Murphy played really, really well last year. But yeah, this is definitely the thing that you'd have to look at from a defensive perspective. Because otherwise, and also Dallas Turner, I'm sure you guys will talk about him, but he's somebody who has to take a step forward too, because a lot of their pressure was like manufactured and stuff like that. If they can become a team that does lock it up in man coverage, it does get pressure with 4 more often, like then we're talking about we underranked them as a defense this year.
Yeah, no, I know. That's I think we top 10 defense pod. I loved our breakdown of it because that's exactly what it is. I love the additions. It's just that they need guys to win one-on-ones. Charles, what about you? Vikings defense, what are you focusing on?
It's the same things. Like I guess they're largely here because of Brian Flores, right? Because I think if you just took this group of players and you just threw them out there with like any league average defensive coordinator, you probably don't feel quite as good as where Brian Flores had them last year. But it's like Matt said, just getting more guys that can win some one-on-one matchups. And I don't really know. I guess I'm not really sure how feasible it is this year, because I still think they need to just get more first round talent into that defense. Obviously, they took a first round pick with Donovan Jackson this year, but they spent a lot to get JJ McCarthy and Dallas Turner the year before. So you're still relying on not undrafted but unrestricted free agents to come in and kind of be plugs for your defense. So you get Jonathan Allen, who I'm high on this year. Javon Hargrave is more of we'll see where he is in terms of his health and his age and where he's playing right now. But I just still see a defense that's going to need a lot of manufacturing, which is fine until we saw it's not. Once you get down to some of the later seasons and in the playoffs where the margins get thinner, you just kind of need guys to win their matchups on the ball.
Just remember the top 10 rankings are for regular season, not playoff season. when you get maybe more detailed schemes picking apart your weaknesses. But yeah, no, we've said 100 times, defensive line improvements is what I'm focusing on, how much they help. I trust this scheme. They shifted to a lot more. Brian Flores has shifted even more zone. They were third in zone coverage last year. So I don't want to spoil my breakout players. So to talk about the one last thing. So we'll go thing that can make or break the season. I'll just get mine out of the way. Pretty obvious here. JJ McCarthy. You guys got anything different? That's really the question.
Yeah.
No,
that was it. Do we just more layups in the offense too? It's worth noting, by the way, like Justin Jefferson's out with a soft tissue injury. Like Jordan Addison's going to be suspended to start the year. This might be another like, hey, let's have a little patience with this operation to start the season at least.
That's a great point. No, but again, that's why we're talking about the run game, the offensive line, all that so much, because it's not the high ends of this offense. It's all the other stuff we're trying to figure out with them. So yeah, McCarthy is going to be a pretty big deal. I think he'll be okay. But I think I just want to see a little bit what he's got, because it could really take this team to a new level that could be really interesting. All right, breakout player. It's really hard, by the way. I thought the Vikings were one of my tougher teams for breakout player because it was I didn't use JJ McCarthy. I was trying to find something different because it's so veteran laden. But Matt, what'd you have for breakout player, or who'd you have?
Yeah, I'm going to go Jordan Mason here because I do think he's going to be a big part of like steadying out this ground game. I was really impressed with him last year. Just good decisive get downhill runner, which I think is what they need, especially with where Aaron Jones is at this point. Like in a best case scenario, I think this could be a guy that scores like 8 to 9 touchdowns this season.
Yeah, I think Danny Kelly calls him from The Ringer calls him a Toyota truck. I think that's what he calls Jordan Mason. Like he's a Toyota truck. Just you know what you're getting. Charles, breakout player for you for the Vikings.
I'm going to go with Dallas Turner, the edge rusher they drafted in the first round last year, only because I don't know, just can't really be less impactful really than year one was. Didn't play a whole lot, had some nice moments, but overall I thought he looked fairly overmatched out there. So hopefully another year, just getting used to NFL speed, NFL conditioning, and the scheme will help. But they need him to be a lot more than 3 sacks he was last year, and more playing time, because when you trade up and you go put in the picks to get that guy, that you're hoping for an impact pass rusher, which he wasn't last year. But still, a lot of people liked him. I liked him in the draft. Still got to believe in the trades. So Dallas Turner, I'm picking as my breakout player because you got to be better than you were last year.
it's a great defense for him. We talked about this top 10 defenses because he's so versatile. But again, he's got to win. Like versatilness isn't like why you draft a guy and trade up for him and do all that stuff. Like that's nice to have, but I can find Andrew Van Ginkel. I can find guys that can find those roles as opposed to investing in this. So he has to win more. I like Dallas Turner a lot, but I will say I watched all of his snaps this weekend, and I was kind of just like, okay. It wasn't just like something I'm really, really like, oh, hell yeah, let's see this. It's more just like, okay, I think I know what you are. My breakout player, I was really, again, it was a veteran team, so I was trying to find one. I went with Isaiah Rodgers. Their free agent corner they signed, the dime back from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Literal
Flores,
dime
more
back.
or less, yeah,
the old gambling scandal.
Handpicked him. I think he bet a. Yeah, I think he bet a dime bag. Brian Flores more or less handpicked him. Not saying Pro Bowl or anything, but maybe there's something here. A nice starting quality corner here. He started 10 games with the Colts, then got suspended for gambling. Had some decent moments, though. He had one play in the Super Bowl, literally one play, and it was a really nice play. 27 years old, breakout player. Why not? Wins over under for the Vikings. That's at 8.5. I do have the over. I think it's at 9.5 now. That's a horse of a different color. Oh man, now that's a little dicey here. I'm still going over. I think McCarthy's gonna be okay. Oh no, that's no. I'm going under. I'm going under 9.5. I think they're gonna be 9 and 8. I'm going under 9.5. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, 8 or 9 wins, I think here. So I would go slightly under as well.
Yeah, well, 8 or 9 wins. Gonna go under just to lessen the expectations on JJ McCarthy.